Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Sammy here at Sammy J Stitches, and it is a new vlog week. I'm going to attempt to actually vlog this week. This is a channel about cross stitch, so if you're not interested in cross stitch, you're probably at the wrong place. And you know, I throw a little life in there. Okay, moving on. It is currently Saturday, February 8th. I'm starting this a little bit early. If you missed last week's video, last week was a horrible week and I barely vlogged. Mostly ended up doing a recap. So I decided we would start this one a little early and hope for a much better week. Okay, so I even said, if you saw, that I was going to end that video and immediately start this one and vlog away, and I didn't. Mostly because my battery died. And a little bit because there was a Facebook Live for one of the Magical Stitches groups going on, so I wanted to kind of listen in on that, and then I jumped on Virtual Stitchers. Anyways, I'm about 70 stitches in to my 100 stitches for the daily on Forever and Ever. So, and I haven't even sat down to plan out what I'm going to work on next tonight. I do know that I'm almost done with Magical Stitches homework. I did keep up with that one fairly well this week. So it's Enchanted Stitches in Daily 30 that I need to worry about. And that's not it. Let's see. Oh, it's up here. Because I was going through and I was highlighting the ones that I've completed so that I know what to work on or what I need to work on. Now, I had picked World Postage Stamp as my bonus for the week because it has a roof, a leaf, and mail. I need those 3 letters. However, I will not be doing that because World Postage Stamp is one of those in the, what I call it, understudy bin. So they're not going to come out until the actors are ready to be retired. So, I have to find another one with ML and R. I did that. I did a cat. I need something with over 11 colors on it. Something with a fairy or insect. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I will come back and I will tell you, okay, look, this is what we're going to do. Right now, we're going to do this. We're almost done with this. And then I'll check back in. All right. See you soon. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It is Monday, February 10th. I didn't record at all yesterday, and I didn't really even finish the night before. I will say it was not because I had a bad night. That was not it at all. And I want to thank y'all so much for the super wonderful comments and even Facebook messages I've gotten about my video last week. I wasn't trying to gain sympathy. It was just one of those realizations when you're just having a crummy week and then all of a sudden something really good happens, and it makes you need the bad days in order to have really good days, right? So I was just recognizing that fact. Also, the amazingness of people, because I'm just absolutely thrilled at that gift, and I actually have it here today to show you. So I'm going to start with that, and then we'll run into catching up. So the first thing I got was Garden Prelude from Mirabilia. I was planning on purchasing this myself. It was what I was... This is what Virtual Stitchers has set up as my birthday stitch along. So I will be starting this August 3rd. It's going to literally kill me having it in my stash and not starting it until August. But that's the plan currently. And I really appreciate that somebody took buying my own birthday present out of my hands. So she is so gorgeous. And let me just tell you, when I first saw her, I had this fascination as a kid with violins. I wish I could have learned to play a violin. But so the fact that she's playing a violin, her dresses are in teals and purples, which purple is my favorite color and teal just goes so well with it. She's absolutely gorgeous. I love her long flowing hair with the ribbons in it, like the wind is blowing. The one thing I'm not 100% in love with is the background. And partly because I feel like she doesn't need it, especially if you put her on a very beautiful fabric where she looks like she's like standing in the middle of a storm playing a violin, or, out on a beautiful sunny day. So I sat, and she bought me the water lilies, which I'm pretty sure is all this flowery stuff. And I don't mind the flowers. What I don't, and so I had to sit in there and think, okay, is this something I want to just do fully? Is it something I want to edit? And I know somebody else that is editing the background out completely. What I think I might want to do is just edit out the arches, and pull these flowers in just a little bit. So pretty much they'll be at the end of her dress, so you don't have all that extra. Although I may need to leave it out a little bit more just so it doesn't seem off kilter with this behind here, or I can shorten this. Who knows? And put her on a green that will work with these colors. So it looks like she's just playing out in the middle of the field and just enjoying, not even needing to play for somebody, just enjoying what she loves. So, lots of decisions to make there before I start it in August, but, it looks like all the beads are in the flowers, and of course that would be where the water lilies are too, because, let's see, well, yeah, here's one of them. This is Orchid, number 185. It's kind of a light purple pink, so I could see that being, like, up in these flowers. Then we've got, like, the darker purple gray, and that looks like that'd be, like, those flowers. Of course, those are pretty covered in beads, so... I like this yellow in here, kind of a yellow green. Ooh, it's not moving. And then this dark, God, I love this color. I've got a thing for yellow lately. So, and I bet that's in there too. It's some of the flowers. So, and I've never used these. I would really like to, especially as somebody went through all the trouble of buying them for me. So I think it's just the arches that bother me. So I may just take out the arches in these panels and just have her in a field of flowers. So, we'll see. I'll make a decision closer to time, because I really don't know what I think. Okay. The other thing I got was, and again, it's more than just somebody doing a kindness. It's a message. And so, and actually this is going to get kitted up immediately. I don't know that it won't get started immediately, but it'll go into my kitted projects. And I think I'm actually going to stitch it more than once, because I know someone I could gift it to that could also use the message. So, this is by Silver Creek Samplers. It is called Live Your Dreams. And it says, live your dreams, risk it all, take the chance, and if you fall, then rise once more. Do not give in. Life is waiting to begin. So I think that is a very positive message, a message that too many people miss out on. Even me, because I'm not very good at taking risks, or gambling or anything like that. So it's a good something. So, oh my goodness, me and the waterworks this week. Okay. So we're going to do a real quick and dirty catch up. You know that I'm working on Forever and Ever every day. The last time I spoke to you, I was about to start it. I had started some of it, but I hadn't finished my 100 for that day. And then I did 100 yesterday. That's it. I haven't started on it today. So here's where we're at. And I love that this daily is getting me so much progress on this piece, because it's one of my goals to get finished for the year. So I may continue to do this even after this month. Sometimes it's really hard to make yourself stop and put in, you're only supposed to put in 30 minutes. I've been putting in 100 stitches because it just works with my goals better. And I'll get to that in a minute. But super cute, going really well. The other reason I did not really vlog was because I have been playing this stitching game, and I've been on a team where we were getting like attacked hard yesterday, and we were trying to survive, and in order to survive you have to stitch so many stitches, and so in trying to help my team make it through, which unfortunately we did not do well enough, but in putting in a solid effort, I was like, I can't take the 5 minutes to record because I really need to stitch. So that first night I worked on Dash Away by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. I just love her stuff. It's so gorgeous. Like, not all of it fits me, but it's all cute. Remember Deck the Halls? Loved Deck the Halls. Okay, this is the salve from the year before. This is Dash Away. So you got Santa's reindeer there on top, and then it names all the reindeer, and then it's got some houses at the bottom. So I worked on Comet. My goal for this is a finish this year. I got half of it because this is the halfway point. I got that half done last year. So if I can get half done in a year, I could get this half done in a year. Well, it might have been a little over a year. But anyway, it's another one of my focus pieces for the year. So I got most of Comet done. I ended up having to frog, but I did that after I submitted stitch count so that I could count those stitches, and it wasn't that many. So got most of that done. Used it for several prompts on homeworks and stuff. I know that something with Sky, because obviously he's flying through the sky, and then because he's Santa. I forgot what else it worked for. Oh, my MLR. So M is this M right here. R was Rudolph, and L was there's some trees at the bottom, and they have leaves on them. So my arm is bugging me today. Sorry, I can't hold it up as long as I normally do. So got quite a bit done on that one, and that was not last night or this morning, the night before, morning time after midnight. And then, so yesterday I got to work and there was nobody here. Sorry about that. So I didn't have to work the turnstile, so I got to get started a little earlier than normal. And so I got my 100 knocked out really fast on, Forever and Ever, which is pretty much all this gold, all the gold, maybe a little bit of red, but mostly gold. And, so I still had some time until homework released at midnight. So I said, okay, what is something I can work on for either extra credit? I still had Daily 30, because Daily 30 actually runs for 2 weeks. I still had one left on it, and that one was what helped me decide, because you needed either a fairy or an insect. And I have Miss Ladybug, who is both a fairy and an insect. So, I got quite a bit done on her. All this skirt, a little bit of the wing this wing over here, these little sides of her wings there. I tried to do as much bulk stitching as possible because, like I said, I was trying to earn things for my group, for my team, and got quite a bit in there. I want to say a little over 600 stitches, or almost 600 stitches, and that was just before midnight, because at midnight I went ahead and switched to start on homework for this week. And I know I said I'm not doing that much anymore, but it worked out. I got good enough progress on this that I didn't feel like she was missing out by not getting the entire night. And this one couldn't start the night because I couldn't do homework, and then it would have, anyway. So I pulled out House Targaryen, and here's where I'm at. I had, okay, so the top of these, like right in here, right at the top of these, is page 2, which is where I started, because I started in the middle. And I already had page 3 done, or, it's actually 3, 5, 3 and 5. But, for me, pages 2 and 3. Anyway, I had these done. So I came up and I started on this one. And so pretty much from here up is new. And I got quite a few stitches in, because when you don't have to change thread colors and don't have to decide, where am I going to go with that color, it goes actually pretty quickly. So, got quite a bit done on that. I think I knocked out 3 or 4 homework tasks for different groups, not necessarily all the same group, but all that. So, now you are caught up. I'm not sure that was as quick as I meant for it to be. So last thing is plans tonight. I am going to work on Forever and Ever for 100 stitches. And then I think I'm going to work on homework. So I've been playing with an idea, and it's hard for me to like start mid-month or midweek or, you know, that with a plan. But it's Monday, so technically I guess I could get away with it. And I want to give my pieces an entire night, but I also want to have a couple days a week where I focus on something very specific. And if I do that, I need my homework done, or at least as close to done as I feel like getting it, because I can't always make those. Well, I guess I could do penalty stitches, but I like to, you know. So I may switch projects a couple times on Mondays. And that way I can try and get as much homework knocked out as possible. The reason for this being is like, I'm thinking Wednesday night would be a really good night for me to just work on my scavenger hunt pieces all night. I may not be able to do that because of pictures, but I can at least finish one prompt on each and then pull out a project for the rest of the night. And maybe Saturdays, Sundays. I'm thinking Sundays because we're kind of waiting for homework to come out. Sundays, maybe make that a Haid night. Of course, you know, the first Saturday of every month is a Haid event at Virtual Stitcher, so maybe I'll get 2. My thing is I want to get way more done on Alice than I'm getting done, because I'm not working on her every night like I had originally planned. There's somebody leaving. And make sure they don't need to talk to me. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm not working on her every night like I originally planned. I'm going to try and get back to that a little bit now that we're knocked out and I don't have to try and get a lot of stitching, because my Haid slowed down a little bit. All of a sudden my nose stopped up and I feel like I can't breathe. And then, so I want to give her some dedicated time. And then on the Haids, I want to work on one of my other Haids, no matter even if I finish the page on Alice. Once I finish the page on Alice, then, you know, the other Haids can come into play a little bit more often, but I still need Alice as a focus for the entire year. So, I would be really happy if I could get at least 2 pages done on her, or even the whole top row. It's like 2.5 more pages. Anyway, 2.25. Ramblings of my mind. Okay, so I'm going to get to stitching on Forever and Ever and then work on homework. So I'll have to check back in. Hopefully I do a better job of that tonight. On what other pieces I'm going to work on. I'm trying to, okay, let me do this real quick. Because you're here to listen to me talk, right? For an hour? Okay. I have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I have not worked on from last month. Oh, I dropped my bag. So I'd love to, I know that happiness can be found in the darkest of times as if only one remembers to turn on the light. I know this is in my homework this week, so that'll probably get worked on. Sophia, she's been worked on, but she's part of my scavenger hunt, so that's why she's there. Snowy Owl. I think there's something with an animal for extra credit, but it's a lot of stitches, and that's no, we'll see. Growth Rings is on homework for a repeated pattern. Which Way is on there for stitching on a face. I don't think I've done that one yet. And so all I have left is Here Lie My Needles. And I don't have it fitting into anything, but if I could get this fitted in and do well, I can't do all of them tonight, but I could get a good chunk knocked out on those tonight, and then I won't have to worry what it is I'm pulling for the rest of the month, and then we'll do that again next month. And since it's a short month and we're already halfway through, you know, I've got to get cracking on that whip. Okay, I'm gonna get to stitching and I'll see y'all soon. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Okay, I know I did a horrible job. once again. I'm just going to quit saying that because this is going to happen however it happens. Free flow. Okay, so when I spoke to you last, I was fixing to work on Forever and Ever. I worked on Forever and Ever. Look, I have almost an entire cardinal. Just needed a little eyeball in there. And then he's done, and I will be moving on along. There's a little heart up here I might do, but then we're moving all along the edge of the vine, and then there's another birdie here. So, yeah, really excited. It's good progress. I mean, because I've got the bird, and then coming up the other side with the flower. The big parts will be done after this bird, and then it'll just be finishing up. So, this bird took me, what? I want to say 10, well, let's see, today's the 11th. So 10 days in February, maybe like 2 or 3 days in January. So by the end of the month, I should have both birds. Ideally. We'll see. So the next I worked on a couple of the pieces. I mean, I kind of did go over these with you. I worked on Happiness first. 1, because I kind of dread working on it. And 2, because it fit into a prompt for 3 different groups. So, here's where I got to. Mostly just this area right in here. In Daily 30, we needed something where the focus is not in the title. So the title for this is Happiness Can Be Found. And then, but the focus when you look at this piece, it's the candle, it's the glow, and maybe even the word darkness, which none of those are in the title. So that's how it worked for Daily 30. For School of Magical Stitches, I think it's about the candle. Oh, so there's a quote, something about lighting up the darkness. Anyways, luminescent darkness fits. And lastly, for Enchanted Stitches, I did this for something Oaken would have in his shop, and I'm sure he would have candles. So, that works for all of that. Yay! Of course, that was just 300 stitches and worked for all of it because it's 300. So, and I did some drying off from snowballs, and I stitched for some items in Myth and Magic. Okay, so then after that I decided to, and I picked these 2 specifically because I hadn't worked on them yet this year. So the other one is Growth Rings from Ink Circles. And I got all the way to the top, and this is the end of a page, but I'm very happy with my progress tonight. This is 400 stitches because for Daily 30 we needed something that had 4 repeating patterns in it. And even though the patterns inside the circles are not the same, the actual circles themselves, there's 4 of them. There's also 4 points. You can kind of see it comes out to here and comes back. So that's why I chose this one. And I think that's all it fit for. But like I said, I chose it because I hadn't worked on it yet. Everything else that's on my list to work on for homework is for homework, not for extra credit, for homework, is it's going to have to come out of my WIP pile, not out of the ones I haven't worked on. Although I'll try and get those squeezed in somewhere where I can. So that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good progress. It's about 4:30, so I doubt I'll get any more stitching done tonight. I'm gonna try, maybe throw in a few stitches on that nail hill. And we'll go from there. So, yeah. Of course, I have a really big mess I can clean up too. Still got a lot to go on that one. What is my goal on that one? Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I think it's over here. So my goal for this is Growth Rings, is 10 days. So it's gotten 1 day. It just needs 9 more. I can get pretty good progress if I keep this up. I feel like I'm getting really good progress this year. And it may have been just fine last year, but I don't know. I just feel really good about this. So I am going to let y'all go, and I will see y'all again this evening. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. It is Tuesday, February 11th, and it's time for me to do something, right? I did my daily on Forever and Ever, so this leaf got some love, this stem, not a whole lot. It's only 100 stitches, but I finished up another scavenger hunt piece, and is that much more progress. I'm in the process of trying to get it to update on my daily stuff, but the internet here today is just bad. So what do we want to work on next? Okay, I've gotten actually quite a bit of homework knocked out already. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, quite a bit. So on the list is Tale as Old as Time, Fairy Tale Lands 2, Lady of the Flag, His Mean Mother. So I'll try and get through as many of those tonight as possible. None of them double dip unless I can get... I still haven't decided what to do for Winter, Kristoff, or Sven. And none of those really work for that. Winter, Kristoff, or Sven. I mean, Tale as Old as Time, maybe it's... has to do... Well, or Fairy Tale Lands, it's about... I mean, he was kind of Anna's happily ever after, wasn't he? And then Olaf's Nose. Tale as Old as Time wouldn't work. Fairy Tale Land 2 might. I don't see anything on Lady of the Flag working for a nose. Mean Mother, there might be something. So I might be able to double dip those. I might have to find something else for those other two. I discussed, because it kind of flew out of my head as we were recording this week, maybe making sort of a plan for my week, because there's certain goals I'm not hitting that I would like to. There's certain things that I'm calling focus and I'm not getting any focus on. So I've made up a bit of a rotation, sort of, based on what I discussed with you already. So I'm going to kind of roughly go over that and see, we're going to see throughout February how it works. We missed last week, obviously, but this week, sorry, I'm going to try it. And then I want to try and keep with it at least till the end of the month. That'll give me 3 solid weeks of knowing whether or not it's what works, and go from there on changing it up. So first, we discussed on Sundays being a day that I focus on my Haid all night. Outside of daily stitching, because, at least for February, Forever and Ever has to be worked on every day for one of my challenges. But, and that may continue past February, I'm not sure. But excluding the daily from all these, so Haid all night long. Alice in a Dolly Dream all night. Unless I just find that my stitching's way slowed down because I can't focus, then maybe I'll switch, but I'm going to try and leave Sundays to her. By Sunday, I should have homework done, and be waiting on the next one anyway. So let's put Sundays as a Haid day. Monday and Tuesday, okay, so I know Cheryl's homework for Daily 30 releases on Fridays, but everything else releases on Monday, so that's kind of when I consider my homework week started. And since Cheryl's is for 2 weeks, not just one, you know, I can still, like, adjust hers a little bit to work with the other ones. So, especially if I don't let myself get behind. So, and I need to squeeze monthlies in there somewhere, but we'll get back to that. Anyway. So Mondays and Tuesdays, homework days. So I'm allowed to switch projects as often as I need to get as much homework done as possible in those 2 days. I do not necessarily have to finish in those 2 days, though I typically think I could. But I need to at least work on as much as possible. Okay, so let me move on. Wednesdays are going to be my scavenger hunt days where I work on all 3 scavenger hunt pieces and get at least 1 prompt knocked out on each. Now for the next month or 2, that should be easy enough to do, but come when I get the higher tiers, I'm not going to be able to knock them all 3 out in one night, especially since Alice in the Dolly Dream is one of them, because getting 500 stitches on a hay will probably take me all night. In that case, it'll probably be mainly focused on the other 2, because there'll be ones I can knock out 500 stitches on rather quickly. Thursday and Friday are things that have not been worked on this month. So currently what I have in that bag, where'd I put it? I know we discussed this last night, but I'm going to go over it again just so it's understandable. This bag is all my WIPs that have not been touched January or February. And so once it's empty, then I will fill it back up and we will go through that all over again. So currently, as an example for this week, there's flossing it out. I have 3 projects in here. I have Here Lie My Needles by Shakespeare's Peddler. That one, I don't find too much for it to fit into. I can think of an extra credit project off the top of my head, but also the fabric. Give me just a second. Okay, sorry about that. So the fabric on it is a little wonky, and so that's part of the reason it always seems to get put on the back burner when it comes to working on it. I also have Which Way. I know I was going to use this for a face, but I ended up being able to fit the Forever and Ever as a face, and then I was double dipping with Daily, so I just went with it. So this is in here, and this Snowy Owl Mill Hill kit, which I never seem to find a reason to do. Even though he's so cute. Okay, so on Wednesday and Thursday, I would pull from that bag and work on one of those projects for as long as I could. I don't know that Snowy Owl would be one I could work on all night long. If I did, I'd probably finish it. So anyways, Thursday and Friday, we're going to work on those. And like I said, once those 3 have been worked on, the bag will be refilled with all of my WIPs, and then, well, all the ones on that aren't understudies or binged. That was a good suggestion, Lisa. Binged would have been a really good one, but I've already kind of fallen in love with understudy now. So I'm going to do that. Now, in saying that, if one of those can fit homework, I can still work on homework. I just have to make these pieces fit, whether that means penalty. So let's say I don't get one of my homeworks done tonight. Then come Thursday, when I work on that piece, I would just take penalty stitches and get my homework finished still. Or work on it for extra credit. Because like I said, I can already think of an extra credit with Here Lie My Needles. One with Snowy Owl, but I don't know that there's enough stitches on that one. I'm sure I could find something for the witch face. But anyways, I digress. So Thursdays and Fridays will be for that. And then Saturday will be for a focus piece. And I mentioned at the beginning of the year when I was kind of going over my WIPs and my plans and things like that, that I had put in here 4 projects that were focus pieces. Now, 2 of the 4 are scavenger hunt pieces. So probably not one of those 2. The other 2 that are in here is Dashaway. Okay, so I started out the year with Dashaway, Forever and Ever, Too Happy, and Miss Ladybug. And then I finished Too Happy. Forever and Ever pretty much stays on the Q-snap, but because I use this to hold its threads, it still takes one of the spots. Because see, that's some of my Forever and Ever. This thing is amazing, y'all. So the other 2, and so Sophia took over Too Happy's place in here. So the other 2 are Dashaway and Miss Ladybug. So on a Saturday, one of those 2 would get the focus for that evening. We're going to see how that works. Now, that does not mean that just because it's Saturday, I can't work on my hate. Because if it's hate event, I can pull it out, and then once I'm done working on it, I go to a focus piece. If there's, I have a list in here. I know I'm babbling a lot, y'all. But I like to discuss my thoughts with y'all in case it helps y'all with anything. Where's that yearly thing? So in this planner was, and I actually hadn't even looked to see if I'm missing something in February. Haha, not yet. Okay, there was this, what I would think of as like a birthday list, right? It's every month and the days laid out, and I don't think Anyway, I'll go through and look at that. But I have all my whips listed out, as you can see, and I want to work on them on their birthdays. So this one is a Wednesday, which would normally be a scavenger hunt night. I may work on one scavenger hunt piece and Aberdeen for a little bit, or something to that effect. Maybe scavenger or Aberdeen in the morning and scavenger hunt in the evening when I get to work. Some sort of that. So there are other things that are going to affect the rotation, but I still hope to make it work to its fullest. So we'll try that. So I know I worked on Once Upon a Fairy Tale because I started it. I need to put my other new starts on here so that I could just copy this next year. Of course, cross out any that are finished. Maybe I need a different highlighter for finished things. Anyway, Fairy Tale Lands 2 did get worked on last month, but I don't think it got worked on the 18th. And I know Happiness didn't because my first day on it was this week. So something I still need to work on. This was a plan and I kind of let it down. But we'll get to it. May is going to be insane because look at this. Because I do Mania, right? All that. I'm really thinking I'm not going to do Mania this year. I'm trying to get my whip count down, 1. 2, I have plans for starts pretty much every month all year. So that makes it hard enough to keep my whip count down. So I'm thinking Mania, maybe Whip Mania, and I only work on projects that I started for Stitch Mania and try and get them finished up. I don't know though, because that means putting aside my scavenger hunt, putting aside any daily stuff. May is too many months away. Let's just reel that back in. Okay. But feel free to comment below and tell me any things that I've said that you like, or where you think I could tweak it a little bit, or, you know, whatever. I love y'all's opinions, and I love all the amazing, heartwarming hugs that I have gotten in my comments this past week. So, I'm going to get to stitching now. Did I say what I was stitching? No, I said one of several projects. So, yeah, I'm gonna get to working on that, and we'll check back in with y'all later. Bye. All right, quick check-in because my relief is here. This is what I got done tonight. 500 on Me Mother, 300 on Lady of the Flag. Check in with y'all later. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Let's see how this recording goes. I don't know if it's pulling it through the earpiece or through those speakers. I don't know what it'll sound like. I may have to re-record this. Anyway, it is Wednesday, February 12th, and I know I just did a quick clip this morning because my relief was already here by the time I got done stitching, but I really wanted to hit that 300 on Lady of the Flag before I went home, so that all tonight was scavenger hunt stitching. I say that I'll try my best because I already hit a goal with Forever and Ever, and I have to see if I have something else I could take a picture of. But anyway, I'll definitely be working on Sophia and Minnie Alice and a Dolly Dream. So, so far, I've worked on Forever and Ever. We got just a little bit more. It was only 100 stitches. It was for the daily, but that did put me at 300 and finished off that scavenger hunt. So it's going to need a new photo with something. I think I can still use a doorknob. So I will attempt to do that if I can. And I'm going to work on Minnie Alice and Dolly Dream for 200 stitches at least. And then Sophia, which is where? It's starting to get cold outside. I couldn't turn off my heater this time because it's cold outside. Okay. And Sophia for 200 stitches. So I'm going to put her in a hoop because she's like the perfect size to go in a Q-snap, but then it makes it a little bit loose and I don't like it. So, working on those tonight. Little bit of life update. And I'm ridiculously excited about this. My daughter made the junior high cheer team for next year. I never thought I would be a cheer mom. I mean, I figured sports, maybe band. Cheer was not something on my list. And even when we first moved here, she did do cheer when we first moved to McCamey. But it was like a pee-wee, just like little kids, cheering for pee-wee football. And, we only had it the 1 year because the next year the lady that was willing to volunteer her time and coach a bunch of little kids, moved out of town. Nobody has taken up the gauntlet since. It was also the year that there was that Ebola scare in Dallas, and so we didn't go to competition in Dallas, or some girls did, we didn't, because of that whole thing. So anyway, so she officially made the school's cheer team for next year. She's super excited. I'm so happy for her. I think she did an excellent job. What I thought was really neat about our cheer is there's 4 parts to your cheer score to see whether or not you make the team. The first is grades. You have to make decent grades. I mean, obviously you have to be passing to even participate in a school activity, but more than that, the better your grades are, the better chance you've got of making the team. Second is teacher recommendation on your attitude, behavior, leadership quality, things like that. So some teacher recommendations. Next is a student body tryout, which they did this morning, and that's what I got to go see and watch. And if I can figure out how to edit the video so you only see her, I may add it on to the end of this. No promises. And the whole student body for the middle school watches, and they go to their classroom and they get a piece of paper with all the girls' names on it, and they circle the 6 they want. So you get your student body vote, and the last is judges, and then they saw the judges this afternoon and got the results about an hour later. So excited for her. We even, I just got my first cheer mom text about an hour ago, and we already have to put our little fingers to work for fundraising tomorrow night. They did a carnation sale for Valentine's. And so we had to go, tag every carnation so they can deliver them to classrooms and stuff like that on Valentine's. So super cute. Okay, that's all the life update. I've got no happy mail, it's all about the stitching today. I'm going to sit back and do some stitching. So I will see y'all shortly. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It is the evening of Sunday, February 16th. And I know I haven't seen you in a few days. It's been a busy few days, and I've barely done much of anything stitching related because I've been so busy with actual life. So the last I saw you, I hadn't checked in with you after scavenger hunt night. Okay. Pull this stuff over here so I can do a quick check-in on those. Also, I did do my daily 100 on this one on Thursday. So it's actually 200 stitches since you last saw it. No, maybe 100? I think I might have showed you this one. Anyway, this has been worked on. Lots of leaf there. Because I did try and get some stitching in before on Thursday night, but I was just so super busy, y'all. My kids had Valentine's Day party on Friday, plus Lexi was having a bake sale for her GT class, because they're trying to go on a field trip to Carlsbad Caverns, maybe? I think so, because my husband was like, can they actually take you out of state? Like, Anyway, those need to be worked on. So I got my daily in on Thursday, and then I was baking and baking and baking and baking and baking. So that was after first I had to go tie cards to Carnations, which was a fundraiser for Lexi's cheer team. And then she had an impromptu practice, so they did that. Then I came home and I got to stitch a little bit. Here's where I got to on Sophia Wednesday night. Got 300 stitches all in here. I might have been 500, 300. Pretty sure it's 300. Anyway, so there's that. So those are my 3 scavenger hunt pieces I got to work on last Wednesday. I will make sure and work on again this Wednesday. I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to continue with the daily thing. I missed 2 days, so I don't know if I'm still in. I think you get to miss 4 days, but you have to claim them. And yesterday I didn't get to do anything. I'll get there in a second. So I may be working on that again today for the daily. I think I should probably just stick with it, right? Keep doing it. Okay, we'll do that. So Thursday night, or Wednesday, I did those. Thursday, I did that, and then I worked a little bit on my Mill Hill, because I was like, I could pull this out and work on it real quickly. It was one of the ones that I needed to get to that I hadn't yet, for those focus days that I told you about. I knew this last week was going to completely not be the week to start a new rotation, but so it didn't work 100%. That's why I'm going to give myself a couple more weeks. I like the idea of it. I feel like some of it worked, but this was just a really bad week for stitching. So, it is what it is. And I will show you the Mill Hill kit in a minute, because I did work on it a little bit, yesterday. Yeah, on the drive to San Antonio. So then Friday we had, I had to run to Odessa and get oil to do an oil change in the car before we left, pick up some stuff for Lexi's cheer, and get some groceries. By the time I got home and took a nap and then got up, I had to get Lexi ready for her first performance as a cheerleader at the halftime of the basketball game. They introduced the junior high and high school cheerleaders for next year, and then they performed together. They actually did really good, considering they'd never all performed together before, and they've only had a couple practices. So I was very impressed. The basketball team won, kicked butt. It was actually a fun game to watch. We were super impressed by that. We were expecting to go watch cheer and leave, and we ended up watching the whole basketball game. It was boys high school varsity, and like I said, they did really well. So then Friday night, as soon as we left the basketball game, we went over to my in-laws. We had Valentine's dinner, plus a happy birthday for my father-in-law and my son, whose birthdays are both on the 15th. Because we knew it'd be the only time we can get together. And then I went home and I went to sleep because I was exhausted. Got up very early in the morning, and we left to go to San Antonio. We were taking Ryan to Six Flags for his birthday. I got to stitch a little bit in the car on the drive over there, which I'll show you now because I'm talking about it. And then we stopped at IHOP and had breakfast, and then we were at Six Flags all day, and I drove half the way home and slept the other half of the way home because I was exhausted. As soon as we got home, I went to bed and I slept until I had to leave for work today. I mean, I did a lot of not sleeping and then too much sleeping. It was a mess. So this is only the second time I've ever worked on this Mill Hill since, well, it's the third time, but the first time I sucked at it and had to rip it all out. Please ignore all my random threads here. So here's where I got to. Got down a little bit on there. It will look like this when it is done. So you can see I got quite a bit done. A lot of the empty spaces, so all the stitching is done up until here, I think. Maybe one more color, but these spots appear for beads, so. It's my first Mill Hill, so it's okay. It's going okay. I'm tempted to leave that as a car project because it really was kind of nice for that. Okay, and so that's all I've stitched on. And this is the end of the week. So that's it. You're all caught up. I will try and insert a couple videos or photos at the end. Yesterday was Ryan's birthday. He had a great day. He's 10 years old now. Oh my gosh. My youngest is in double digits. My oldest is a junior high cheerleader next year. It's been a hard week on the age front. Okay, so that is it for this week. I'm so glad you all joined me, and I hope you'll check back next week. Trying to get better at this vlogging thing. I know it's all over the place, but it could be worse, right? It could be worse. So I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all have happy stitching, and I'll see y'all soon.